Epica, like its predecessor Evander, is presented in one version, with a four-door sedan. Many cars operated in Ukraine are of domestic assembly. They were produced by the SKD method in Zaporizhzhia. Cars of recent years, as a rule, are completely Korean. Experts say that there is no particular difference in the quality of the assembly of cars with different pedigrees. The model was produced in Korea until the end of 2011, after which its production was curtailed. There is no heir yet, but, according to the domestic importer, the place of the flagship of Korean Chevrolet models will be taken by Malibu, sales of which should begin in Ukraine in the second half of 2012. Chevrolet Epica bodies have good corrosion resistance. There are practically no complaints about the condition of other external parts of the car. The salon is very spacious. There is enough space in it even for tall and large people. See photo. Yes, and it is well made. Bel-Air upholstery is highly wear resistant. There are no complaints about leather trim, and plastic parts do not annoy with creaking over time. Visibility from the driver's seat is good. A tribute to fashion, silver aluminum inserts on the dashboard and steering wheel look modern. It is a pity, however, that the creators of this car abandoned the decorative wood-like details that were used on the predecessor and other competitors have. They would add solidity and high cost to the interior. Like its predecessor, Epica was equipped with only two petrol engines, 2.0 and 2.5 liters. However, the 2.0-liter Epica engine is a new 6-cylinder unit, while the Evander used a 4-cylinder unit. But the 2.5-liter engine migrated unchanged to this model from Evander. Both motors are in line. The most common in Ukraine is Epica with the 2.0-liter unit. It is quite reliable, and characteristic problems have not been identified in it. Paired with the mechanics, this engine is distinguished by moderate fuel consumption for such a large car, about 11.5 liters in the city, and good dynamics, 9.9s to hundreds, the same as the 2.5-liter version with automatic gearbox. However, the 2.5-liter Epica unit inherited from Evander inherited a characteristic problem that occurs when using low-quality fuel. After 100,000 kilometers, the catalyst may become unusable, and its destroyed particles through the EGR system, exhaust gas recirculation, enter the cylinders and damage the cylinder piston group. Moreover, it is difficult to overhaul. The cylinder block is made of aluminum alloy, and the repair dimensions of the parts of the cylinder piston group are not provided. However, domestic craftsmen have learned to repair these units by lining blocks. The first signs of a malfunction of the catalysts are a deterioration in throttle response and an increase in fuel consumption. To avoid trouble, some owners of the top 2.5-liter versions preemptively remove the catalyst, although this requires the installation of a flame arrestor and a flashing of the brain of the engine ECU. The timing of both units is equipped with a durable metal chain. The cylinder head is equipped with trouble-free hydraulic lifters, and the ignition system is equipped with individual coils for each of the cylinders, the operation of which also does not cause any complaints. Epica is available with 5-speed manual and 6-speed automatic transmissions. Mechanics, as a rule, was offered in tandem with the 2.0-liter engine, and automatic was intended for 2.5-liter top versions. According to experts, both types of gearboxes have proven themselves reliable during operation. Does not cause claims in hydraulic clutch. According to the manufacturer's recommendations, lubrication in both mechanical and automatic gearboxes is designed for the entire service life, but if the car is operated in difficult conditions, taxi mode, towing trailers, etc., it is advisable to update the oil in the mechanics every 80,000 kilometers, and in the machine every 60,000 kilometers. Moreover, experts note that only original GM oil should be used. The use of other lubricants reduces the life of the unit. Structurally, the Epica suspensions are made similarly to their predecessor. An independent McPherson is installed in front, and a multi-link in the back. At the same time, due to the use of gas oil shock absorbers, the Epica chassis became much more assembled, which had a positive effect on the stability and controllability of the car. It has not lost its former energy intensity either. The suspension copes well with the bumps of our roads. This car is well suited for both measured driving and fast driving on suburban highways. However, on Ukrainian roads, the suspension of this car was not the most durable. Quite often, the car owner will have to change the gum of the front stabilizer, struts, on average every 20,000 kilometers, bushings, 40,000 kilometers. Similar parts of the back serve about 60 and 100,000 kilometers, respectively. Branded shock absorbers, front and rear, will last the same 60 to 100,000 kilometers. The weak point of the rear suspension is the upper wishbones, 50 to 60,000 kilometers. This is exactly the resource of their silent blocks and ball bearings. By the same mileage, after driving on wet roads, the silent blocks of the steering knuckles begin to creak, although they can last more than 100,000 kilometers. The remaining parts of the chassis, the longitudinal and transverse levers of the rear multi-link suspension, as well as the front levers, can last 100 to 150,000 kilometers. Branded consumables of the front and rear suspensions are offered assembled with levers, although among non-original spare parts, gum and ball can be purchased separately. The rack and pinion steering of this machine is equipped with the hassle-free hydraulic booster. Tie rod ends in our operating conditions are able to withstand a mileage of about 100,000 kilometers, and thrust even more. The brake system is equipped with disc mechanisms of all wheels and ABS system. In the brakes, ABS sensors can sometimes fail, more often the front ones, although it should be noted that this trouble happens much less frequently on Epica than on its predecessor, the Vanda. However, it is worth remembering that the sensor is only supplied complete with the hub and a wheel bearing. The original front assembly costs about UAH 1,000. Chevrolet Epica is a great option for those buyers who are looking for a large and spacious passenger car. This car is quite reliable, and the new owner will not have much trouble with it. And although the suspension resource is not so great, but in return it provides a fairly comfortable ride on far from smooth Ukrainian roads. In addition, Epica's wide selection in the used car market makes it effortless to find the right one for you.